Hi everyone, welcome to my new video where we're going to talk about the first eclipse of summer 2018, July 12th, 2018, or July 13th, 2018, depending on your location on the planet, is when we have our first eclipse of the summer. And of course, I mean summer here in the northern hemisphere. For those of you in the southern hemisphere, it is your winter. So this would be your first winter eclipse. We have 3 eclipses coming up, and I want to talk about what these energies are because I want to give you a deeper insight into what's going on. There's so many layers to astrology. There is the beginner interpretations, there's the basic understandings. All of this is important. But I like to give you some deeper layers that will perhaps resonate and help you understand how to make the most of these big energy periods and to see below the surface. That's really where we heal. It's where we grow. It's where we become better versions of ourselves, and also where we can find more of the gold nuggets on our journey. And this eclipse is a powerhouse. It is about changing at a really deep level and working with yourself at a much deeper level. So to begin, we have the sun and the moon right here at 20 degrees of Cancer. They're at 20 degrees and 41 minutes. They are conjunct, as every new moon is a conjunction. And so the sun and the moon meet up and they give each other a hug, especially in Cancer, and they reconnect. Cancer is our home, our inner sanctuary, our private space, our inner world. It's your kitchen. It's where you go for comfort. It's your favorite recipes. Cancer is our heart, our feelings, our private emotions that we don't let the world have access to. It represents our relationship to mother, as in being a mother, your mother, motherhood, because that all pertains to nurturing and taking care of our sensitive selves. When Cancer feels safe, it is warm and kind and welcoming. This is the energy that will do anything for you, that will show up with soup when you're sick, that will stop and pick you up something at the store, that will be your friend in need. I mean, this is a feminine energy that is so loving and kind. It wants to help you feel better. And so with this new moon, we are invited to look at how we care for ourselves, how we are tuned in to the gifts of our emotional world, how we're understanding the beauty in emotions, that we can't only be in our heads or in our minds or in our bodies. We have to go deeper. Cancer is the first water sign, so it is an initiation into the feelings, into your heart, and looking at what is underneath the surface that needs your care, that needs some TLC. Now, this is the energy of wanting to be at home with those you love, with family, with anyone who just feels good. Everything in Cancer is about how you feel. Now, the other side of Cancer energy is that when it feels vulnerable, it can be defensive, it can be reactionary, it can be very emotional because it feels so much at once. It can feel explosive emotionally because it has to get it all out. So in Cancer, we're learning how to listen to our hearts. We're learning how to trust what we need and that we can feel safe in the world internally, no matter what is happening around you. You can always feel safe inside yourself. And do you honor that? Do you go there as needed? When you have a rough day, when you're struggling, when you feel emotional, do you allow yourself to simply cry, to get it out, to feel what you feel, and then let it flow? And these are the gifts of Cancer, is understanding that you are safe in the world when you take care of yourself and you take care of your heart. So this energy is big, and it's amplified even more during this solar eclipse because it is exactly opposed Pluto at 20 degrees of Capricorn. Sorry, I know there's a bit of a shadow here. Now, what this is every opposition is the two energies that are learning from each other. Cancer is learning how to be stronger through Capricorn's discipline, objectivity, work ethic, responsibility, how to be mature, how to be an adult. On the other hand, Capricorn is learning from Cancer how to soften, that people have feelings, that you can't just work all day and expect that to sustain you through life, that everything you do in the professional world or in your career doesn't define all of you, that you're more underneath the surface. Both of these energies are feminine energies, and they come into our world with different archetypes. So the Cancer energy is essentially the archetype of the maiden, the fair maiden, the one who is innocent and naive, who believes in the best in everyone, who wants to do good and be kind. She is very open-hearted. She hasn't had perhaps some of the rough and tough experiences yet in life. And that is a beautiful thing, to remember to see the good in others, to trust people. And can you trust them? Well, on the other side of this equation is Pluto in Capricorn, which is the archetypal energy of the matriarch. She has responsibility and duties. She understands that there is more to the world than perhaps what one finds in the kitchen. She understands that there are all kinds of people in the world, and you can't always trust them. But this is part of life, and you must be strong, and you must keep going. Now, this solar eclipse energy is activating this for all of us. And what you need to do is look in your natal chart at where 20 degrees of Cancer is, because this is where you are ready to evolve. And this evolution began when you were younger, because Cancer is about, again, the maiden, the young energy, the youth, the time in your life when you were naive and you were cared for by your family, by your mother. What did you learn about feeling safe in the world and to honor your emotions, whether or not you could trust people, if you felt safe to be in full expression of your heart, of your feminine gifts, to trust yourself first? And in this lunation, this solar eclipse, it's a new moon solar eclipse, Pluto is saying it's time to evolve that. It's time to step into an energy that is more matriarchal, more responsible, that allows you to see the vastness of your energy. That perhaps when you were young and vulnerable, there were things that choices you made, people you trusted, that ultimately showed you that life is tough at times, that there's struggle, that there's hardship, that not everyone supports you, not everyone's going to love you, not everyone is going to be there for you. This Cancer energy can be where we experience our first broken heart, because we want to be loved, we want to trust, we want someone that we can count on with our feelings, all of who we are. And this solar eclipse is a highlight of the energies that are ready to evolve for your soul's growth, because Pluto is about evolution. And what we're seeing here is that in some area of our life, we perhaps are naive, or we have accepted something from our mother, from our maternal lineage, from our family, from our legacy, from where we come from, that is ready to evolve into a more mature, responsible expression of self that ultimately feels more powerful. But oppositions, what they do is they pull you. And so you're being pulled out of a safety zone, and there could be a hard truth. There could be a power struggle. There could be something intense that comes up and triggers you. You could have a flashback or a reminder to a time in your life when you wanted to trust somebody and you were betrayed. This is the energy of a power struggle. But I want you to feel powerful in it and to understand that it also represents a part of your inner world that's struggling to embrace more of your power. So what we're seeing here is that you are actually ready to step into a higher role of wisdom, of understanding, of maturity. You're ready to evolve a part of yourself that maybe is that, I'm going to call it that sweet little girl in the corner, that sweet little boy in the corner, who you were. And you're going to show up for him or her, and you're going to be his strength. You're going to be his power. You're going to be talking to your inner child during this solar eclipse and taking care of yourself in a way that was not taken care of before. If you feel a wound come up, a heartache, a heartbreak, something that makes you feel vulnerable, you are then going to step in and understand that you are all of this energy. It is not truly outside of you. It's just being mirrored outside of you. It's being reflected outside of you because you're at the level of consciousness to understand there's something in here for me to evolve and grow. There's a part of my energy that is still precious, innocent, and wants to trust people. And I'm not going to let that part of me be completely hardened, but I understand the real world, the hard knocks of life, that there are people and there are situations when we have to be on guard for ourselves. So this solar eclipse, my friend, is activating within you something that needs to be given more loving, tender care, but it needs to grow into a mature expression. A mature expression. Now, the great news here is that both the moon and the sun actually have support from Neptune at 16 degrees of Pisces, which helps you connect to the spiritual growth, the higher perspective. You know everything changes form, and this is just temporary. Everything is temporary. What are you learning for your own benefit, your own intuitive development, but trusting your intuition? So for example, one of the best ways we can learn is through hindsight. So if there's a situation that comes up the middle of July during this first solar eclipse, if you were to look back, what did your intuition tell you about this? And allow that to be your teacher. In spirituality, in some teachings of spirituality, at least the ones that I teach and subscribe to, we can see how everything is a teacher. That person you despise, that person you hate, is your current spiritual teacher. Where you feel impatience, where you feel struggle, that impatience and that struggle is your current spiritual teacher. So you're being asked to look at this temporary anything as a spiritual teacher that is going to evolve you and make you more powerful. Because Neptune is also talking to Pluto here. So these two are working beautifully together to support what needs to grow. And that doesn't mean it's always easy, but because you can understand how powerful you are, you can embrace it more. Now, the other beautiful dynamic we have here is a grand trine in Earth. Oh boy, this is fantastic. So the grand trine in Earth includes Uranus at 2 degrees of Taurus. We have Saturn at 4 degrees of Capricorn in retrograde. And then we have Mercury at 3 degrees, Venus at 3 degrees of Virgo. Now, this energy of a grand trine in Earth is all about the physical world, your senses, your body, money, your jobs, the earth, everything we need to survive, food, your home, everything that really creates our 3D experience. And a grand trine means we have support. It's a closed circuit of self-sufficiency. It's an understanding that you will be able to tap in to resources, opportunities, people, connections to help with your current 3D experiences. With our girl Venus here, she's about money. And in Virgo, the support, women who support us, women who are in supporting roles, and how we take care of our body, how we care for our physical selves. She's getting strength from Saturn in Capricorn, who provides the structure, the fortitude, the discipline, the patience. I don't know about you, but anytime I start a workout routine, I need some patience because I want immediate results. But this helps you see that, well, if I'm going to really support my body, I'm going to do it for the long haul. So what daily habits am I ready to start the middle of July that are going to support my body, my health, my nutrition? And then we have the energy of Uranus in Taurus, trining this lovely trine. I just love it when the outer planets connect. Trining Saturn and breaking us out of where we're stuck or stagnant to see it from a higher perspective. Uranus is more powerful than Saturn because it's the outer planet. So it's providing new self-worth, new understandings that you can do this, that you've got the ability to see it differently, to do it your way, the independence, the sense that maybe before it was one way, but now I see new solutions, new ways of bringing the pieces together. This is genius, brilliance, breakthrough. And wherever this energy is in your natal chart is where you're being blasted with bigger, higher energies for growth. Then Uranus trining Venus, well, that brings in new opportunities to make money. What do you need to make money? Because Taurus is a money sign and Venus is a money sign. See, this energy, Uranus in Taurus, is actually ruled right now by Venus because Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So these two working together are saying, I have a new idea of what I want to do, what I need to do. And Venus brings you the people, specifically women, to support you, or resources or details, processes, next steps. Let's break it down into something simple. So you see how this grand trine in Earth, it can be quite invigorating. So look in your chart at where these early degrees are of the earth signs for where this grand trine is working to help you feel self-sustained, to help you bring together the necessary components and pieces. This is really great here. Now, the other element we have going on is that the earth energy helps to balance out, it helps to ground any emotional intensity. Okay, so if you feel that emotional intensity here around what you need to evolve and change, wherever something is ready to shift, this is going to bring in the practicality of it, of, okay, let's break it down into simple pieces. I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm going to plan for this outcome. I'm going to allow unexpected support. And so it grounds you. It can feel like even if something big is happening, you understand that it's truly for the best and highest good of your path. Now, when we have a solar eclipse, it begins a new cycle. And eclipses happen. The same eclipses happen every 18 years because they coincide with the nodes. And this eclipse, so it's at 20 degrees, okay? The last time we had an eclipse in Cancer was at 19 degrees, so just one degree prior, back in July of 2010. 2010. So eclipses move in these cycles, and you could look back on your life. In July of 2010, what came up for you? What was changed? What transpired? What happened? It's going to give you clues about this one. But this eclipse is bigger because of the opposition from Pluto. And it can give you insights into the themes because it's going to be the same house in your chart. And this is what's important because the house placement shows you that area of life, that theme of life. So back in July 2010, what changed for you? And that's what's going to be triggered again. Only it's going to take you to a new evolutionary place, okay? It's going to be a bigger change because of this Pluto energy that's requiring change. That's requiring a new sense of power in what that area of your life is. Now, I'm going to see, okay. So we know that Mars is retrograde. He's right here. And I did a separate video on Mars retrograde. And so Mars at 7 degrees of Aquarius is going back and hanging out around, this is the south node. And so he is showing you what needs to go, what's done, what's released. It's a breaking out energy, a breaking up, breaking through. It's all about really cleaning up what is complete and done. And this can be another layer to the changes of the summer, to the changes of 2018, because this eclipse begins eclipse season. We have 3 eclipses. The next one is going to be July 27th, and then another one in August 11th. So we have 3 eclipses in a row that are quite dynamic. And there's something here that's initiating change for you that's going to carry through until 2020. Now, why do I say 2020? Because Pluto, he's the slowest moving planet. At 22 degrees of Capricorn, he's going to make a conjunction to Saturn in January of 2020. So we know that both of these are in Capricorn, okay? They're going to unite at 22 degrees of Cappy, which is only 2 degrees off from this eclipse. Whatever you start now, it's going to reach a completion because that is when we're going to complete this energy. See how there's all these cycles in astrology. And so when you can understand when something gets initiated and when it comes to closure, it helps you with a timeline. It helps you understand that whatever you're meant to change and grow, well, Pluto is going to be hanging out in that area of your chart.